Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for Fan Art Friday. Today, we are going to take a break from doing the Star Wars stuff, or Star Wars mixing them up with other movie characters like we did last week, and do something completely different. So I'm thinking, what's a good topic? What's something we can delve into that we can get a lot of mileage out of? And we like to do villainous stuff here. This is a Mad Scientist Lab. So I was thinking, let's do villains. But who has the best villains of them all? It's got to be Batman. So let's dig into Batman's rogues gallery. And we've got just a ton of characters to choose from. But we're going to start off with these three right here. And let's get to it. Okay, so let's kick it off with Batman's arch nemesis, the Clown, Prince of Crime, the Joker. And so there's been so many different iterations of the Joker in film and cartoons and comics. Yeah, I just went with the sort of the classic, what I think is the classic Joker, sort of the comic book style, the long chin and you know, kind of the crazy green hair and everything like that. Yeah, I don't know what my favorite version of the Joker would be, as far as, I guess, film versions. Probably Heath Ledger's. A little different from the comic books, but I think it was still an awesome take on it. I don't know. I do like the animated series. Most of the characters that I'm going to pick, as far as like my favorite villains, I think the animated series pretty much nailed them. So it's kind of a toss up between those two. And then, I'm curious to see what this next version is going to be like from the Suicide Squad. I don't really know too much what to think about Suicide Squad. I'm not crazy I'm not really looking forward to the Batman v Superman, just because I just was not a fan of Man of Steel at all. And I think Zack Snyder could probably do a better take on Superman. I'm sorry, on Batman than Superman, just because he's kind of, he tends to go that darker route. So maybe it could be good. I was kind of burned by that. So I don't know. We'll see what the reactions are. And so far, I haven't really been impressed with too much of what I've seen. I did like Watchmen, though. That was kind of one of those, because Zack Snyder, he did the Watchmen, and thought I liked his take on that. It was, that was a difficult thing to transition from comic book to movie. So it's like, it's almost next to impossible. So, I thought it was pretty good. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. How do you take that book and turn it into a movie? You can't do it exactly the same. You gotta do things a little bit differently. But I don't know. Anyway, so about to wrap this one up with a Joker, and we're just using some of my alcohol-based markers, the Copic markers, the what is it? The Spectrum is the new markers that I've been using, and then some of the Pantone Tri-On. And now I'm just kind of going over it with my little Sino gel pen. So who's next? Let's do Catwoman. Catwoman sometimes a villain, sometimes sort of love interest of Batman. You look at a lot of the versions, because I was trying to get, what do I want to do with the costume, because again, there's been so many different versions, from film and everything, and the comics and so I went with sort of the modern version of the costume with the goggles and everything. But when you look at some of the fan art and some of those versions that are out there, a lot of them are, the real sexy Catwoman and everything. I don't know. I thought I was a little more inspired by, if you guys remember the animated series, it was like an MTV animated series. It might have been like an import for some place else, I don't know, but it was on that show Liquid Television way back in the days. But it was called Eon Flux, and kind of the main character from that, kind of, I don't know, a little more hard lines, not as soft. So I don't know. Thought it would be an interesting take. Probably, maybe not as attractive as a lot of the stuff out there, but I figured, I don't know. I kind of want to go the angle of more sinister looking. So
so that's what I went with. Now, the one thing once we get into coloring, I should have done, because I was thinking about the goggles. I'm like, well, Catwoman usually like works at night, and before I throw this out there, I'm sure you guys right away you can explain this, and I think I've pretty much figured it out myself. But I haven't read modern comics in a while, so I just kind of know from the imagery I see and what I remember from when I was growing up reading comics. But I was thinking, well, Catwoman usually works at night. What does she need the goggles for? But I'm guessing they're probably like an infrared or something that she can see at night. That would make perfect sense. So, and usually the pictures you see, she's not actually wearing them. She's kind of got them over her head, so kind of like I have them here. So, and I don't know if they quite would cover the way I had the mask. I kind of did my own take on the mask because I like the version with the goggles, and I like the mask, but it's got the wide kind of eye holes. And most of the comic book versions, I don't know if I've seen too many like that. It's usually either or. But it would make sense if the goggles would cover all that open space where you see her face beneath the eyes. But I don't think quite do in this version. If I was actually going to actually take the time to do like an illustration, I would have figured that out a little better. But these are real quick sketches, just for fun. But I probably should have colored those goggles. I noticed they were, in a lot of the versions, they were red instead of that blue that I did. So last but not least, we are going to do, and we'll probably do more of these because there's so many characters, like even my favorite, which I won't reveal right now, but my favorite Batman villain of all time, I haven't done yet. But Mr. Freeze, now we can make all the funny puns that we saw in the Batman and Robin movie. But Mr. Freeze is actually like a really cool character, and a lot of that has to do with what they brought to life from the animated series. So, and I think the modern version of Mr. Freeze in the comics takes a lot from that. Because before, I think he was just a guy that liked to freeze things, and there really wasn't much of a backstory, at least from what I remember. And I think it was the animated series that really took that character and gave it some legs and some background with him trying to save his wife and everything, and just the emotion and emotionless. Am I saying this right? Emotionlessness? Is that there's probably got to be a better word to describe that, but yeah, just that complete lack of just very stone-faced, very the way he delivers line, very cold, it's that it just works in with his personality, the character, Mr. Freeze. I was going to say Captain Cold, but that's a whole different character, Flash villain. But anyway, so with Mr. Freeze, yeah, just very, just stoic and everything like that, and very cold and motionless. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, again, breaking out Copic markers and some of my other markers, and definitely wanted this again to reflect the all blues and real cool grays, and except for the eyes, you got to get those red eyes, and that's the only thing that kind of pops up. You look because they kind of like almost dead and like looking into his soul through his goggles and everything. The only thing that's red, everything and warm. So it's like if you would see him in like a silhouette, you would just see these eyes just glowing. It's kind of sinister. But anyway, so that's gonna do it for this week. Fan Art Friday, Batman's Rogues Gallery. Who's your favorite Batman villain? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. That is all. Thank you.